In the golden light of a Danish summer, beneath the rolling clouds of southern Jutland, the serene Gråsten Palace became more than a royal residence. It transformed into a sanctuary of connection, a cradle of affection, and a vivid stage for rare, unscripted glimpses of humanity within the Danish royal family. What unfolded over those days was not just tradition, duty, or pageantry, it was love in its most personal, unfiltered form. Queen Mary of Denmark, King Frederik, their children Princess Isabella, Prince Christian, and their younger siblings, alongside the ever-revered Queen Margrethe, revealed to the world that behind royal titles and ceremonial attire lie genuine hearts capable of tenderness, quiet strength, and everyday grace. As the gates of Gråsten gently opened to allow public appearances, what the world witnessed was not rehearsed or embellished for the cameras. It was the sight of Queen Mary stepping aside from the regal posture of monarchy to hold her daughter's hand as they strolled through the palace gardens, where birdsong intertwined with the soft laughter of a family momentarily free from the burdens of the crown. She wasn't just Denmark's queen in those hours, she was a mother, a wife, a woman whose quiet, instinctive gestures radiated an emotional warmth that many had never seen so vividly from the throne. And yet, Mary wasn't alone in this powerful orchestration of love. King Frederik, ever charismatic and sometimes the quieter presence beside his Australian-born wife, matched her tenderness with his own. With a protective arm around Queen Margrethe, who appeared more fragile this summer following a recent hospital stay, Frederik silently reaffirmed the family's bond across generations. It was a wordless expression of solidarity, a reminder that the Danish crown rests not just on protocol and law, but on the emotional connections that define and sustain it. Even young Princess Isabella, growing rapidly into the graceful young woman who has captivated Denmark's public eye, offered soft, sweet signs of familial closeness. Seen tucking a flower behind her younger sister Josephine's ear, or gently coaxing her younger brother Vincent out of his shy silence during a rare public greeting, Isabella revealed a quiet maturity that resonated far beyond her teenage years. Though the spotlight often dances around Prince Christian as heir to the throne, Isabella proved at Gråsten that royal strength comes not just from heritage, but from empathy. Throughout their stay at the southern Danish estate, set like a fairy tale against lake waters and wild rose bushes, what emerged most powerfully was not just a royal image but a royal feeling. Public appearances, while predictably orchestrated, carried spontaneous moments of warmth. Queen Mary brushing a strand of hair from her son's eyes during a press photo, King Frederik sharing a knowing laugh with his mother, and Queen Margrethe clasping Mary's hand during an evening walk as though to say, "Thank you for holding our family together." No royal retreat is without its official moments, and yet even those carried a tone of deep emotional honesty. During the traditional family photo call outside Gråsten's ivy-covered facade, journalists and citizens alike observed an unusually long embrace between Mary and Frederik after one of their children joked about the silliest royal dance moves. It was a minor moment to some, a chuckle, a glance, a kiss on the cheek, but to those who watched closely, it was everything. It was a monarch showing the world that kings and queens can love deeply, openly, vulnerably. As Queen Margrethe continues to age, and as the Danish monarchy evolves into a more modern, transparent institution under Frederik and Mary's influence, the role of summer at Gråsten has become increasingly symbolic. It is no longer merely a seasonal getaway, it is the heartbeat of the Danish royal calendar, a touchstone of family unity, a time to reflect, recover, and reconnect not only with each other but with the Danish people themselves. Citizens who gathered near the palace fences spoke with reverence about what they saw. One elderly woman, holding a small Danish flag, tearfully recalled the sight of Queen Mary kneeling to greet a child in a wheelchair during a public stroll through the nearby village. She didn't just smile, the woman said. She listened. She touched his face. That was not for the cameras. That was real. Others described the energy between King Frederik and his son Christian, whom he was often seen chatting with at length as the family moved between events. It was like watching a king train a prince, not with rules, but with stories, said one onlooker. For many Danes, these rare moments of openness are not simply delightful, they are necessary. In a world where monarchy often feels distant or outdated, the royal family's ability to show vulnerability, affection, and domestic intimacy builds a bridge to the public. And this summer at Gråsten, that bridge was not just built, it was strengthened with every smile, every shared glance, and every heartfelt moment that passed between them. From early morning bicycle rides through the dew-touched forest paths, to cozy dinners on the veranda under candlelight, the palace breathed with life and simplicity. Queen Mary's decision to personally pick wildflowers from the gardens for Queen Margrethe's room was not just a daughter-in-law's gesture, it was a tender act of care in a family that is redefining royalty from the inside out. Even the palace staff reportedly noticed the difference this summer. There was more laughter, more music, more warmth, said one longtime attendant. The Queen was often in the kitchen with the children, helping prepare small meals. The King spent more time reading aloud than in meetings. It was beautiful, and in the absence of global diplomatic duties, charity galas, and royal obligations, these Gråsten moments became more than anecdotes. They became a story, a portrait of a family learning to hold each other through the pressures of legacy, tradition, and the silent weight of Denmark's crown. The children, especially, seemed to blossom. Prince Christian, known for his poise and formality in public, was seen horsing around with Prince Vincent, their laughter echoing through the castle corridors. Princess Josephine, ever the fiery and curious one, was seen racing through the orchard with a basket of apples, only to stop and offer one to Queen Margrethe, who accepted it with a delighted chuckle and a gentle, "Tusen talk." These were not posed photos. These were not pre-scripted interviews. These were real lives, real moments, and real love. What makes these small moments matter is how rarely we see them, how powerfully they contrast with the formal duties that dominate royal life. In an age when scrutiny of royal institutions is higher than ever, Denmark's royal family is setting a new tone. They are not retreating behind palace walls. They are inviting the world into their summer, into their hearts. And through that invitation, they are not just strengthening their bond with each other, they are reaffirming their bond with Denmark itself. Because when Queen Mary pauses to tie her daughter's shoe on the palace steps, when King Frederik brushes away a tear during a family toast to Queen Margrethe, when Prince Christian quietly takes his grandmother's hand during a quiet garden walk, these are not just familial gestures. These are acts of leadership, acts of legacy, acts of love, in the gentle hush of summer. With the Danish flag dancing above the tiled rooftops of Gråsten, something rare and sacred unfolded. It wasn't on the itinerary. It wasn't part of the script. But it was everything Denmark needed. And as the final days of the royal retreat drew to a close, one question lingered in the hearts of those who bore witness. Can the simple beauty of royal love, lived out openly and authentically, reshape the very soul of monarchy for generations to come? Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment with your thoughts. What's your favorite royal moment? More heartfelt royal stories are coming soon.